All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And we got a really interesting voicemail here that we're going to play for y'all. Cody, can you hit it?
Hi, Cardin and Cody. My name is Brooke. I'm from Arizona, and I was able to attend Yangapalooza. I wish I had more time to kind of share the moments that stood out to me. But to keep this, short and concise, I wanted to ask, from your experience, from your perspective, what can we do to poll higher in Iowa? Because if there is one thing that I've learned about the Yang Gang is that if there's a goal, we will hit it. So I look forward to hearing your answer. Bye.
Oh, Brooke, what a rock star. First off, thank you for calling in and leaving a message. And second off, did you hear the inflection in her voice, Cody? She's like, if I know anything about the Yang Gang, if there's a goal, we will hit it. I love that confidence. I absolutely love that. It's infectious. I just want to go out and in the rest of my day, just like conquer something, thinking like, I know I can do this. That is cool.
Oh, of course. And just for really quickly, because it's a great question, just for a teeny bit of context on what exactly she's talking about there. Iowa, of course, crucial state early on in the Democratic primary process, and Andrew Yang currently is polling at about 2%, which is actually well below his national average. So in reference to why did he need to get his numbers up in Iowa? That's why. Also, the delegate system they use in Iowa is very crucial to be a delegate. Anyway, so Cardin, what do you think he can do? I just wanted to quickly kind of, again, reestablish why it matters. So,
okay. This is a very interesting question, and let me just give a little bit of background before I give my answer. We got another voicemail, and I can't remember if we played it in a stream or if we did its own video, but the guy called up and he said, should we really be doing Yangapaloozas? To me, it seems kind of like more like a Yang party than an actual effective way of getting more people registered to vote for Yang, getting the word out for Yang, so on and so forth. And then you and I spoke, I believe, about the Effie Awards, the awards that determine whether or not an ad campaign was more effective, not whether it was more entertaining or funny or whatever, whether it was effective in actually converting people into buying the good or registering for the product or so on and so forth, right? So here we've got one person saying, hey, is Yangapalooza even that effective? Brooke says she went and she loved it, but she wants to know what we can do in Iowa in order to have Andrew Yang polling higher. And so this is obviously very demonstrative of a feeling that is happening from the Yang Gang, which is when you study, for example, our viewership, and you also look at Andrew Yang's support base, it's generally in urban cities, more tech centers, so on and so forth, right? So in America, we have this system where like Iowa runs the national presidential election show for like 6 months out of the year. And as Andrew Yang said in Iowa himself, when I look out and I see one Iowan, I see 1,000 Californians, because one Iowan is worth like 1,000 Californian votes, right? So what can Andrew Yang do to poll better in Iowa is a very interesting question. And it's things that he's not naturally good at, but I think could easily be good at due to his personality and temperament. He has excelled online. He's excelled with the young crowd. He's excelled with the internet culture, but he hasn't made a lot of headway in the African-American vote. And you guys need to watch our video about how Andrew Yang can win more of the African-American vote. He also hasn't done very well with women. Good to hear Brooke calling in. Get more of your girlfriends, Brooke. And third is in some of these early states, he's really seriously lagging disproportionately to how he's excelling in some of the urban centers. Okay, and so you have to ask yourself, how do these people get their information? Well, Iowa's very establishment, even though yes, it's out in the middle of the United States of America, buried underneath Minnesota. Okay. It's very establishment. Iowa has controlled the early section of these primaries for so long that it's kind of like that small city in Arkansas where everything has to do with Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like every obscure company that is a vendor to Walmart has an office in this small town in Arkansas where Walmart was started, right? Iowa is that small town, but just for politics, okay? And a lot of these demographics that he's lagging in are demographics that kind of still respond to the old traditional and boring kind of media that unfortunately costs a lot of money. Andrew Yang could excel very quickly and kind of get that first beat of energy and those first headlines by going on popular podcasts, by getting very internet savvy people interested in him, by being the Twitter superstar, by being the internet candidate. He actually himself called himself the king of the internet candidate. He even went so far to tell Donald Trump, "I do the internet better than you." And so that was his first boost that got him ahead of the pack. And by the pack, I mean all of the B team that's non-establishment, that's, polling at 0.5%, 1%, so on and so forth. He was able to get himself ahead of that pack. But now he unfortunately has to play some of the traditional politics games. He's got to be able to go into these, he's got to go into some of these more establishment areas and show that he can play ball there too. And unfortunately, some of these arenas are kind of pay to play. And that's why he was asking for money. And that's why all of the Yang gang trusted him with their money and gave him those 10 million. Well, now show us, Andrew Yang, how you're going to use it. Are you going to buy smart and intelligent ads? Are you going to get a good PR firm that gets you in front of TV with people? I don't care if it's Good Morning America or if it's the Iowa State News or if it's a bunch of IP address targeted commercials to everybody between the age of 39 and 50 in Iowa. But this is why the Yang gang entrusted you with the money. So let's see how you spend it. So basically, in Doctrine and Covenants, it says that you will come out of the darkness into the light, right? He's basically come out of the darkness because of the money that people have entrusted him and the fervor that he has garnered online. Now the question is to see if he's gotten out of the AAA league because of some stellar performances. Let's see what he can do in AA to then see if he can go play professional. Actually, no, that's a bad example. I think it was AAA and then professional. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, so I think he really needs to kind of shift gears and see how he can make headway with all these different demographics without just becoming another politician. Okay. And if there were a magic bullet, then everybody would be doing it. So there is no magic bullet answer for Andrew Yang, but I can tell you this, the best marketing guru that I ever but actually ever spoke with, guy that gave seminars and sells the books and the whole 9 yards, says the only true trick to marketing and marketing your product or your service very well is to get into as many avenues of advertising for as inexpensively as you possibly can. You can try and excel at social media and hope that takes you off, or you can do print, you can do magazine, you can do TV, and you can do radio. If you can get as many avenues as you can for the least amount of money possible, you're going to hit as many demographics as you can for the least amount of money possible and hopefully get the highest return on investment. I think Andrew Yang needs to do that. He's previously been the internet candidate. He's previously been the youth candidate. He's previously been the Twitter star. He now needs to diversify his portfolio and get into as many other avenues of media as he possibly can with the money that we've all entrusted him with, okay? And that is how he will poll better in Iowa. And so that's basically going to be the true test of the next 6 weeks, is to see how he converts that money into establishment votes. And it's a pretty big challenge, but I mean, if somebody's up to it, I think it's Andrew Yang. Where do I go wrong, Cody? Where do I veer left, right, nor center?
Nothing really comes up. I just also want to note that recently in an interview, Andrew Yang referenced saying that they're going to be greatly increasing the funding. Yeah, nice quote. Even pull a quote up. The quote is, we've been doing everything on a shoestring this whole time. We're about to pour gas on a fire, which is the Yang gang. So to go back what the caller said, Andrew Yang echoes similar sentiments. So it looks like a lot of the stuff you talked about, they are going to be stepping up in the state.
All right. Awesome. So anyway, thank you very much, Brooke, for the voicemail. Call back in. We love your questions. They are profound and relevant. If you guys want to give us a voicemail, make sure you call us at 1-833-PSP-RADIO.
You've been listening to Problem Solver Politics on FM 98.1. We'll be back after a short commercial break.